This lecture is about some of the trickier types of conversion factor problems. So when you have a long problem like this that has a lot of kind of more complicated units, what you're going to look for is look for things that are connected or show a relationship. And in particular, if you'll look for the symbol for per, that is almost always associated with a conversion factor. So I'm going to go through and see if I have what I have that has 2 units, 2 numbers. Those are my conversion factors, and I see this one. Let's get the whole thing there. And here's that per symbol. Those go together, the milliliters of solution and the micrograms of medicine. And then this one is by itself, and we're asked for the mass. So to decide where to start, we look for the number that's not with another number. We want a number that's just one number, one unit. And I'll put that here. And I need to kind of keep track of milliliters. This is milliliters of solution. This is a dosage problem, and one thing that's really tricky about these is that you'll have a mass of medicine and a mass of patient, and you got to make sure you keep those straight. Anyway, so I'm going to take whatever unit is there and put it down here. And then, so I use this. Then I look at my other numbers given and look for milliliters solution. And I do have something that's milliliters of solution, so I'll go to micrograms of medicine next. And so I am using this one. I put a dot there so we can treat that like it has 4 sig figs. And I have a 1 there. Then whatever unit is down here, I'm going to put here. And so I used this one. And I look for micrograms of medicine, and I do see it up in this top one. So now I'm ready to use this top one. I'm going to use this. And I'm going to go from micrograms of medicine to kilograms of patient. And I'm going to use those numbers. The 150 goes with the micrograms of medicine. And I'm going to kilograms of patient. Remember, there's an assumed 1 there. And I get 33.3. Let me look at my sig figs. That looks right, 3 sig figs. And that is my patient. Let's try another one. This one is going to be a little bit trickier to see what's going on and to pull out those conversion factors. So we're going to read through it carefully and see if the numbers given are showing us a relationship between 2 different things, or if they're just really one number, one unit by themselves. So we'll just start at the beginning and just read through, and wherever I see a number, I see if it's associated with something else. So the first thing I see is I see a number, and I see that that's associated with a 1 liter bottle. So I'm going to write these down here just to make it easier to refer to. And this is H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so there's my first conversion factor. Next, our dogs have an average of 1.41 skunk encounters per year. So I see that word per, and that's a good hint that I have a conversion factor. So let's write that like this. I'm going to call it encounters. Okay. With every skunk encounter, both dogs always get sprayed. So this is a little bit more hidden, that there's some numbers there, but there is. Both implies 2. And that's per for every skunk encounter per 1 encounter. Okay, and so that's this. And keep going. It takes, here's another one, the amount per dog. Okay, and then the last one, how much will we spend over 10 years? So I'm going to want dollars in the end, but this 10 years is not going with anything. So I'm going to start. Remember, our goal, usually what we try to do is to start with one number, 1 unit right here. And I'm writing exact to remind us about sig figs, because when a number is written out like this 10 or the 1, those are exact numbers, so for sig figs. Okay, so where do I go from here? I have all of these numbers. So what I do, I want to put years down here because I'm going to want that to cancel. And what would I go to next? I have all of this stuff. So what I do is I look at all of these conversion factors that I found, and I see if I find anything with years. And I do. Right here, this one has years. Okay, so that tells me that I can go to encounters using that one. And so I'm going to put here, I'm going to put that 1 year, 1.41 encounters. I don't need that. Okay, so I use this one. I'm going to cross it out. And then next, I see I'm going to put encounters down here because I want that to cancel. I already canceled my years, and now I'm going to try to cancel my encounters. So then I look up above and I see what's left. Do I see encounters? And yes, I do. It's right here. And it gives me a link to dogs. So I'll put dogs on top. And I know that I have 2 dogs per 1 encounter. Very good. And now encounters cancel. So I know I'm going to put dogs down here because I want that to cancel on the next one. I use this. Do I see dog anywhere else? And I do. Here's dog right here. So I can go from 1 dog to 250 milliliters of the hydrogen peroxide. Just kind of continue here. I got rid of the dogs, and I'm going to put milliliters of H2O2 down here. And so I use this. Looks like I have 1 left. And so I'm looking for milliliters of H2O2, but I don't have milliliters. I have liters. So that tells me that if I could get to liters, then I'll be able to use this last conversion factor. So I'm going to go to liters first. And I put in here what I know, and you can write it either way. I'm going to write it 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Or you could write the times 10 to the minus third thing, but anyway. And so milliliters of peroxide cancel. And now since I have liters, I can use my last one to go to money. And I get 12. 3, this is what my calculator says. And remember, some of these numbers were exact. The ones, I assume that these are exact. I have exactly 2 dogs. So both. Looks like I have 3 sig figs. And so I will say, because I don't really know that last cent. There we go.